CM Punk coming back to SmackDown to confront Paul Heyman next week. Major plans for CM Punk on SmackDown next week. WWE releases several employees. Adam Pearce upset over Randy Orton. Why Randy Orton didn't RKO Rhea Ripley. Stone Cold approached about facing CM Punk. 29-year-old superstar targets Roman Reigns. Paul Heyman convinces 19-year veteran to turn heel on Randy Orton. Let's jump right into it. Major plans for CM Punk on SmackDown next week. CM Punk is scheduled to appear on SmackDown next week. The straight-edge superstar will be live at Amica Mutual Pavilion in Providence, Rhode for the Tribute to the Troops special edition of the Blue Brand. This will be Punk's first appearance on SmackDown in 10 years. He last showed up on the January 24, 2014 edition of the Blue Brand. A second City Saint joined the participants of the 2014 Royal Rumble as they all brawled inside the squared circle. There's already great anticipation as to what CM Punk will have in store for the WWE Universe on the Blue Brand. With that in mind, let's take a look at 5 things the superstar could do on the December 8, 2023 episode of Friday Night SmackDown. Number 5. Kick off the show. CM Punk is one of the biggest draws in sports entertainment. He was an ego-used hot merchandise mover even after he got fired by Tony Khan over his alleged involvement in a backstage brawl with Jungle Boy Jack Perry at a EW All-In. The voice of the voiceless could kick off the Tribute to the Troops special edition of SmackDown next Friday. Punk is one of the best talkers in the business, and he could set the right mood for all the action and drama. Number 4. Meet new faces. The entire landscape of professional wrestling has changed a lot since Punk last competed in WWE a decade ago. His current boss, Triple H, was still active as an in-ring performer at the time when Punk left the promotion on a sour note. The game can potentially book Punk to meet some new faces on the Blue Brand. Punk could introduce himself to stars such as Bianca Belair and Grayson Waller, in addition to a backstage segment with longtime friend Bayley. Number 3. Segment with Nick Aldis. Nick Aldis is probably over the moon after successfully signing Randy Orton to SmackDown. The Viper officially returned to his longtime home on December 1. He took out Junior Uso before putting away general manager Aldis with an RKO out nowhere. There's no denying that both Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce will once again lock horns in a bid to sign Punk to their respective brand. The voice of the voiceless could have a segment with Aldis to discuss business on the upcoming edition of the Blue Brand. Number 2. Wrestled his comeback match on SmackDown. CM Punk last wrestled in a WWE ring at the 2014 Royal Rumble. He was fired from the company on his wedding day. His wife AJ Lee left the company in 2015. His final match on SmackDown also involved the New Age Outlaws and the Shield. It is unknown if WWE wants their hottest signing to wrestle his comeback match at a premium live event or on a weekly show. Hypothetically speaking, if Punk were to wrestle on SmackDown, then he could be set up in a multi-man tag team match. Number 1. A CM Punk Paul Heyman reunion. Paul Heyman has been CM Punk's biggest advocate since day one. The wise man pushed for him to win the ECW championship in 2006, but Vince McMahon declined. He accepted his former boss's pitch to manage Punk in a heartbeat in 2012. Ideally, Heyman would be the one to welcome CM Punk back into WWE's fold with a segment on SmackDown with the angle leading to the straight-edge superstar's rumored program with Roman Reigns. How would you book CM Punk's first WWE SmackDown appearance in 10 years? WWE releases several employees. Mass layoffs are nothing new in the world of the WWE. It became so common that for over a decade, yearly April releases have been dubbed spring cleaning by critics of the promotion. Back in September, following the company's merger with UFC to form TKO Holdings, over 100 employees lost their job. These original layoffs were an effort to clear out employees from both sides of the merger who essentially provided similar services. A notable name in that group was Executive Vice President of Development and Digital Jamie Horowitz. Brandon Thurston of WrestleNomics has now revealed that another undisclosed number of corporate employees have been laid off. Outside of the office, one major name has been added to the list. NXT backstage interviewer Mackenzie Mitchell revealed that she'd been let go today. These layoffs come following a year of highs, with a promotion set to make well over $1 billion by year's end. Q1 and Q2 revenue ended up at over $700 million, while TKO Group Holdings as a whole earned a Q3 revenue of $499 million. WWE President Nick Khan released a company-wide email back in September, chalking the layoff of over 100 employees up to the transition into TKO Group Holdings. As part of WWE's transition into the newly formed TKO Group Holdings, we are evaluating our existing operations and systems to identify potential synergies across the business. This effort includes workforce reductions, which will take place tomorrow. Those whose roles have been impacted will be notified by our human resources team, who will share the details of their severance package. We are asking that everyone work remotely Friday, September 15th, so we can ensure all conversations are handled privately and respectfully. We'll send out a company-wide email once all of tomorrow's conversations have happened. Our company is home to the most talented, creative, and hardworking employees in the world. WB is a special place, which makes moments like this difficult. Just know that we have nothing but gratitude and admiration for everyone we have had the privilege to work alongside. Regarding today's releases, we can only assume the reasoning behind them is in line with those from September, unless further details are revealed. Adam Pearce upset over Randy Orton. WWE Raw General Manager Adam Pearce has reacted to the events of SmackDown surrounding Randy Orton, the Blue brand's newest acquisition. On last night's episode of SmackDown, the Viper had to choose between signing a contract with the Red or the Blue brand. Adam Pearce promised Orton a World Heavyweight title match, while Nick Aldis assured him that he would give him the bloodline. In the end, Randy Orton went with Nick Aldis' offer and signed a contract with SmackDown. Orton hasn't forgotten how the bloodline took him and Matt Riddle out last year, leading to him being forced to go on a hiatus due to a back injury. Shortly after, Adam Pearce took to Twitter and made it clear that he didn't like the fact that Orton chose SmackDown over Raw. He added that he understood why Orton chose the Blue brand. Pearce then sent a heartfelt 3-word message to the Viper. "I don't like it, but I get it. My respect always, Randy Orton," wrote the Raw GM. After making a big return to the ring at Survivor Series, War Games 2023 Premium Live event, Orton appeared on the following Raw episode. He received a thunderous ovation from the WWE Universe. The Viper cut a promo on the Monday night show and stated that his hiatus gave him a lot of time to ponder on his accomplishments. The former World Heavyweight Champion then said that he hadn't done one thing in the business, and that was to compete in a War Games match. When Cody Rhodes called in with an offer to compete at Survivor Series War Games, the Apex Predator just couldn't reject it. Orton also touched upon the events of last year that led to him taking a hiatus. He said that he can forgive but can't forget and will go after every single member of the bloodline. Now that Orton is on SmackDown, would you like to see him go after the tribal chief, Roman Reigns, right away? Why Randy Orton didn't RKO Rhea Ripley. Bob Orton Jr. recently gave his thoughts on Randy Orton's opening segment on the November 27 episode of WWE Raw. The Viper kicked off the show 2 days after making his in-ring return at Survivor Series War Game. Rhea Ripley interrupted the 14-time world champion, who mocked her Mammy nickname by declaring, "Daddy's back." It looked at one stage as though the returning star might hit the Judgment Day member with an RKO. In an interview with Sportskeeda Wrestling's senior editor Bill Apter, Bob Orton Jr. said his son is too much of a gentleman to RKO Ripley. "I thought he was going to probably RKO her last. He's a gentleman. I thought there might have been a chance." Orton has been involved in physical altercations with several female WWE stars throughout his career, including Stacy Keibler and Stephanie McMahon. He even faced Alexa Bliss in an intergender match at Fastlane 2021. At Survivor Series War Games, Randy Orton teamed with Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso, Sami Zayn, and Seth Rollins to defeat Drew McIntyre and the Judgment Day. He also secured a one-on-one win over Dominic Mysterio on Raw. If the Apex Predator faces Money in the Bank holder Damian Priest, Bob Orton Jr. thinks his son will have no problem picking up the victory. "I think Randy will run all over him. That's what I think." During the War Games match, Randy Orton hit JD McDonough with an RKO after Rollins and Zayn threw the new Judgment Day member off the cage. Bob Orton Jr. enjoyed watching the spectacular moment. "Yeah, he's pretty darn good, I'm telling you. He's been training hard, so he's gonna be hard to handle." The Viper is scheduled to appear on the December 1 episode of SmackDown. Former LUO member Santos Escobar referenced the WWE veteran on the bump this week, prompting speculation that they could interact. Do you think Randy Orton will RKO Rhea Ripley at some point? Stone Cold approached about facing CM Punk. CM Punk's return to WWE prompted talk that the best in the world could go one-on-one with Stone Cold Steve Austin for the first time. However, according to Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer, speculation about the match happening anytime soon might be premature. Fightful Select reported this week that some within WWE are optimistic that Austin could return to face Punk in a dream bout. The topic has even reportedly been broached backstage. On Wrestling Observer Radio, Meltzer had no doubts that WWE's higher-ups would like the match to take place. He added that nobody from the company has reached out to Austin yet, meaning the idea is still in the early stages. As of right now, he hasn't been approached, Meltzer said. "He's not in. I'm not saying he won't be, and that is not their direction. I'm not saying that's like some people thought the same thing you did. Hey, maybe we could do it. I would just say it's premature. I wouldn't say it's never going to happen either." In 2022, Austin returned to the ring after 19 years to defeat Kevin Owens in an impromptu match at WrestleMania 38. The WWE Hall of Famer has repeatedly said he is open to wrestling again, but only if the storyline fits his character. Many fans expected CM Punk and Steve Austin to face each other after they traded insults during a promotional video for the WWE 13 video game in 2012. A year earlier, they also appeared together in a segment on Raw. Dave Meltzer further explained why people in WWE do not think the long-awaited match will occur in the near future. "As soon as that story came out, I heard from a bunch of people who were pretty close in, and they basically said probably shouldn't be doing that one or worrying about that one. Basically, it's not anything that anyone's talked about to any degree. I mean, it could happen, and it makes sense." Austin and Punk have been friends for many years. In May, the Texas Rattlesnake told Forbes that he and Punk occasionally send text messages to each other. Do you think CM Punk versus Stone Cold Steve Austin will ever happen? 29-year-old superstar targets Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is the longest-reigning WWE champion, with his streak spanning over 1,100 days after he won the title at Payback 2020. Meanwhile, a rising 29-year 37-year-old wrestler has declared that his long-term goal is to face the Tribal Chief. Earlier this year, several superstars from the developmental brand received their main roster call-ups. This also led to the rise of new stars on the developmental brand, which Shawn Michaels currently heads. Trick Williams is one such wrestler who received his big breakout moment when he won the North American Championship off Dominic Mysterio at WWE NXT No Mercy 2023. However, he lost the title back to Mysterio in less than a week. Speaking to Denise Salcigo, Williams revealed that his long-term goal is to face the Tribal Chief in the future. "I'm gonna go straight to the top. Long-term, my goal is I want to face off with Roman Reigns. He's the best to do it right now, so if you're not in it to face him, I don't know what you're doing. Sooner than that, who I'm very excited about working with is Gunther. I love the way he carries himself. He really is a ring general, and I'd love to see us battle, go to war. I told him that too. I'm really looking forward to that day." Roman Reigns and Gunther are the only superstars with the least amount of losses in WWE over the past 2 years. The WWE Undisputed Universal Champion and the Intercontinental Champion are often treated as the top dogs of their division. Speaking during an interview with Steve Fall, the ring general addressed the possibility of feuding with the undisputed WWE Universal Champion in the near future. "We'll see, time will tell. It's nothing where I go, I need to do this now. That has to happen now, anything like that. I'm focused on what I do now. I think, in the long run, it would be a very interesting match. I think so, because what Roman is to the Universal title now is to what I am to the Intercontinental Championship. I think the role and position are very similar to that. The ring general and the Tribal Chief are yet to cross paths on the same brand, and it is a too-good-to-be-true fantasy matchup that would break the internet if it ever materialized." Who do you think will dethrone Roman Reigns? Paul Heyman convinces 19-year veteran to turn heel on Randy Orton. Paul Heyman interrupted Randy Orton on SmackDown and ended up witnessing the RKO on Jimmy Uso. The Viper joined SmackDown despite Paul Heyman's warning and made a huge statement by delivering another RKO to general manager Nick Aldis. Orton's actions won't likely go without repercussions on the Blue brand next week. It is possible that Heyman could manipulate Aldis into taking some sort of drastic measure against SmackDown's newest acquisition. The 19-year veteran did say he'd trade the entire bloodline in order to get the 14-time world champion on his show. He got his wish, but at the cost of an RKO out of nowhere by Randy Orton. The Viper then picked up the mic and told Roman Reigns through his wise man that Daddy's here. It remains to be seen what Nick Aldis will have in store for the Viper following the events of SmackDown this week. The former NWA World's Heavyweight Champion sent out a 5-word tweet after taking an RKO out of nowhere from the Legend Killer. Nick Aldis may portray an on-screen authority figure on WWE television, but he can hold more than his own inside the squared circle. The 37-year-old star is a decorated performer himself, having been in the ring with the likes of AJ Styles and Cody Rhodes. It is possible Paul Heyman could cause a rift in the professional relationship between Aldis and Orton, leading to the National Treasure's first match in WWE. The bout could be against the Viper following the events of December 1, 2023 episode of WWE SmackDown. CM Punk coming back to SmackDown after it confront Paul Heyman next week. Paul Heyman needs to be on the lookout next week because his former client CM Punk has been announced for WWE SmackDown's Tribute to the Troops special episode. The straight-edge superstar has become the talk of the wrestling town since his earth-shattering return to Survivor Series War Games last weekend. After cutting a passionate promo on his comeback on Raw earlier this week, the fans were pondering what is next for CM Punk. He is set to be listed as a free agent on the internal roster. The Stanford-based company eventually confirmed his free agent status when they announced his next appearance during the latest episode of SmackDown last night. This will mark the first time Punk will be appearing on the Blue brand since January 7, 2014. There is no word on what he will be doing on the show, but fans have a pretty good idea about it. According to the WWE Universe, CM Punk could come face-to-face with his former advocate and current Bloodline member, Paul Heyman. The Second City Saint has enjoyed tremendous success with Heyman during his heyday. He even referenced the Wise Man in his return promo on Monday Night Raw this week. "The Wise Man told me that for me to get everything I need out of this place, I'd have to leave and come back. Hate to say the Wise Man was right," CM Punk said. Recent rumors have suggested that CM Punk versus Roman Reigns is in the pipeline. While nothing is set in stone just yet, a face-off between Heyman and Punk could be the first step towards sowing seeds for this mega feud. Paul Heyman has a lot on his plate right now, as Randy Orton has put the Bloodline on notice. The Viper returned to SmackDown last night and accepted Nick Aldis' offer to join the Blue brand. The Legend Killer fended off Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa with the help of LA Knight in the main event segment. Orton even hit Jimmy with an RKO before telling Heyman to call Roman Reigns and tell him Daddy's back. Randy Orton also caught Nick Aldis with an RKO as the camera stopped rolling. It's almost a foregone conclusion that the Stanford-based company is heading toward Reigns versus Orton for the 2024 Royal Rumble Premium Live event. Who do you want to see face Roman Reigns at Royal Rumble next year? Sound off in the comments section below.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then then you know I'm gon' feed 'em. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing.